All right, let's pull back the curtain on the internet. Today, we're talking about a tool that lets you see the web's secret conversations. It's called Burp Suite, and it's how security pros find vulnerabilities before the bad guys even get a chance. Ready to see what's really going on behind your browser?
You know, every single time you hit login or just click a link, your browser sends a secret message out to a server. But what does that message actually say? What's happening in that split second between your click and the page loading? Well, that's exactly what we're going to find out.
And that's the key right there. Every click sends a message, an HTTP request, that's just packed with data. For security professionals, reading these messages is like being a detective at a crime scene. It's where they find all the clues to how an attacker could potentially break in.
So this constant back and forth between your browser and servers, that's the engine that makes the web run. Your browser asks for something, the server responds. Sounds simple enough, right? But it's in the tiny details of these requests and responses that things get really, really interesting. Now, for an attacker, this hidden traffic is basically a treasure map. It's where they hunt for all the juicy flaws, things like SQL injection or broken authentication. Without a way to see this traffic, you're really just seeing the polished, pretty surface of a website, totally blind to the real dangers lurking just beneath.
So how in the world do we get a look at this invisible traffic? Well, that's where the first tool in our kit comes in, the Burp Proxy. Think of it as a special pair of X-ray glasses that lets you see all the data flying back and forth.
The Burp Proxy basically becomes a man in the middle, but for a good cause. All the traffic from your browser has to pass through it before it gets to the server. And what that means is you can pause it, you can look at it, and you can even change it before sending it on its way. Here's how it works. Let's say your browser sends a login request. Bam! Burp Proxy intercepts it. Now you can inspect it, maybe you want to tweak a value here or there, and then you just let it go. And the server's response comes right back through the proxy too, so you get to see the whole conversation.
So what do you actually see inside one of these intercepted requests? Well, there are three main parts. You've got the request line, that's the what of the request. Then you have the headers, which carry all this extra info like cookies. And finally, the body. That's where you'll find the data you submitted, like your username and password. For a security tester, this is where the fun really begins.
Okay, so looking at requests one by one is a great start, but let's be real, it's slow. What if you want to test thousands of different inputs? That's when you need to bring in the heavy machinery, Burp Intruder.
I mean, just think about a modern web app. How many forms, buttons, and API calls are there? Hundreds? Thousands? Trying to test every single one by hand? It's just not possible. It would take forever. The sheer size of what we call the attack surface is probably the biggest challenge for any security team. And the difference that automation makes is just huge. As you can see here, automated testing finds significantly more vulnerabilities than manual testing alone ever could. Now, it's not that manual testing isn't important, it absolutely is for certain kinds of complex flaws, but automation is what gives you the scale to cover a ton of ground fast.
Honestly, the difference is like night and day. Manual testing is slow, it's tedious, and it's really easy to miss things. Automated testing, on the other hand, is like having a tireless robot assistant that can fire off thousands of requests a minute, and it never gets bored or makes a silly mistake.
So what kind of stuff can you do with Intruder? You can fuzz an input field, which is basically like throwing 1,000 different wrenches into a machine just to see which one breaks it. You can try to brute force passwords, or look for hidden pages that developers maybe forgot to protect. It's an incredibly powerful tool for finding things that just shouldn't be there.
So once you get comfortable with intercepting traffic and automating attacks, you're going to start to think, what if I could make this tool do exactly what I want it to do? Well, that's where customization comes in, and for Burp Suite, that means Burp Apps.
The easiest way to think of BApps is like apps for your smartphone. There are these awesome extensions that you can add to Burp Suite to give it all sorts of new powers. Some might add new ways to scan for vulnerabilities, while others might help you automate your work even more.
So why are BApps so incredibly useful? Well, for a security team, they're a massive productivity boost. They help everyone on the team work the same way, and they can bring all the tools you need into one single place. And that means less time switching between windows and way more time actually finding vulnerabilities. With Burp Apps, you're really moving beyond just using a tool. You are creating a fully customized security platform that's perfectly suited to how your team works and what you're trying to test. It's a game changer.
So, we've talked about the tools, but what's the bigger picture here? It's not just about finding individual bugs. It's about using these powerful tools to build a culture of continuous security.
The real goal is to get ahead of the attackers. Instead of just reacting to problems as they pop up, you want to be proactive and stop them from ever happening in the first place. It's all about moving from just patching holes to truly mastering your security.
Because at the end of the day, it's not just about finding one bug here or there, it's about building a team and a process that can consistently and effectively keep your application safe over the long haul. That's the real prize.
So, we've seen how security pros use Burp Suite to see the unseen, test at lightning speed, and even build their own custom tools. You have the blueprint now. So the real question is, what are you going to do with it? How will you use this knowledge to build a stronger defense?